There are fires that destroy forests, and there are fires that burn silently inside the chest. Anger, that invisible blaze, begins with a spark, a word, a look, a misunderstanding, and before you know it, it consumes what years of patience built. Moments when the tongue becomes sharper than a sword, when a single word leaves your mouth and you wish you could take it back. You don't mean to destroy anything, but anger doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't think, it doesn't wait, it just erupts, and when it's gone, it leaves silence and regret. We think strength is shouting louder, but in Islam, strength isn't noise, it's control. It's restraint when every nerve in your body tells you to fight back. This is not just a story, it's a reminder for every believer who's ever said, I didn't mean to say that. And for every heart that learned that anger can break more than bones, it can break the people we love. This is the story of Aliyah, but it could be the story of anyone. The mother who says too much, the sister who speaks too fast, the believer who forgets that the tongue can break more than glass. Aliyah was known for her strength. In her workplace, she was the one who fixed problems no one else could handle. In her family, she was the eldest, the responsible one, the calm one, the one who always had it together. But even the calmest waters hide storms. Her father had passed away years ago, and with his passing, responsibility had landed on her shoulders like a mountain. She worked 2 jobs to support her mother and her younger brother, Hamza, a bright but impulsive teenager. They lived in a small flat near the city's edge, one of those neighborhoods that was always half awake. And every day, Aliyah rose before dawn. She prayed Fajr, always whispering, Ya Allah, grant me sabr. Help me carry what feels heavy. She didn't know that the real test of that dua was coming. It started small, the usual friction between siblings. Hamza would forget to buy groceries, leave the lights on, spend too much time gaming. But lately, it had grown worse. He started skipping school, hanging out with a new group. His grades dropped, his tone changed. Aliyah's patience was thinning. She would return home exhausted from work, only to find dishes piled high and Hamza scrolling through his phone as if the world owed him peace. One night, she confronted him. The air was thick with tension. The clock ticked louder than usual. Hamza, she said, I'm doing everything for you, and you can't even respect that? He didn't look up. You're not my mother, Aliyah. That sentence cut through her like glass. Years of swallowed frustration rose to her throat. Don't you dare talk to me like that, she shouted. Do you know what I gave up for you? And for the first time in her life, Aliyah, the calm one, lost control. Her voice cracked, her eyes burned. She said things she would later wish she hadn't. Her mother stepped in, her voice trembling. Aliyah, stop. But it was too late. Hamza stormed out, slamming the door so hard that the sound seemed to echo into the night. Silence filled the room like smoke after a fire. Aliyah collapsed onto the couch, her body shaking. Tears came, not from sadness, but from the kind of anger that feels like grief. She had prayed for patience, and yet, in one moment, she had lost everything she thought she had mastered. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed her words over and over, how loud her voice had been, how Hamza's eyes had filled with hurt. She stared at the ceiling, guilt washing over her like waves, and in that darkness a thought whispered, the strong one is not the one who can shout the loudest. The Prophet ﷺ said, the strong person is not the one who defeats others in argument, but the one who controls himself when angry. Her heart sank. She realized she hadn't just hurt her brother. She had failed the very test she had been praying about all along. Morning came. Her eyes were swollen, her chest heavy. She made wudu slowly, feeling the water cool her trembling hands. As the water touched her face, she remembered another hadith. When one of you becomes angry, let him make wudu, for anger is from shaitan, and shaitan was created from fire. She closed her eyes and whispered, Ya Allah, extinguish the fire inside me. When she prayed Fajr, her sujood was longer than usual. Her heart begged for forgiveness, for calm, for wisdom. 2 days passed before Hamza came home. He avoided her eyes, silent and cold. The guilt in Aliya's heart grew unbearable. She wanted to fix things, but every time she opened her mouth, words tangled in her throat. Finally, one night she found him sitting on the balcony, earphones in, staring at the city lights. She sat beside him quietly. The silence stretched between them like a wall. Then, softly, she said, Hamza, I shouldn't have shouted. I was wrong. He didn't answer, but she continued. You know, anger, it blinds us. I was angry at life, at exhaustion, at everything, but I took it out on you. That's not the way the Prophet ﷺ taught us. For a moment, the only sound was the hum of traffic below. Then Hamza looked at her. You really scared me, Aliya. Her heart broke. I scared myself. That night when Hamza went to sleep, Aliya opened the Quran. Her eyes fell upon the verse from Surah Ash-Shura. Those who avoid major sins and immoralities, and when they are angry, they forgive. She read it again and again until her tears fell onto the page. Forgive. She realized forgiveness was not only something she owed her brother, it was something she owed herself. Weeks passed. Aliya began to study anger, not through psychology but through the lens of Islam. She learned that anger is not sinful by itself. It's what follows it that determines its consequence. The Prophet ﷺ never said, do not feel anger, but rather, do not act upon it. She found that every time she was tested again, she had a choice: to let shaitan win by reacting, or to let Allah see her restraint. She began applying prophetic guidance in real life, quietly, deliberately. When anger rose in her heart, she remembered to say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed shaitan. When her pulse raced, she would sit down, just as the Prophet ﷺ instructed, if one of you becomes angry while standing, let him sit. If anger still remains, let him lie down. And on the hardest days, she would leave the room, make wudu, and pray 2 rak'ahs, not to escape the situation, but to let her soul breathe. Slowly, she became different. The colleagues who once saw her flare up under stress began to notice her composure. Her mother said, you speak slower now, softer. And Hamza, who had once walked out in anger, started to stay home more. They began eating together again. One evening, while they sat in silence watching the rain, he said quietly, you're calmer now. What changed? She smiled faintly. I learned that when I lose my temper, I lose my blessings too. Sometimes the people who anger us are not our enemies. They are our teachers. Through them, Allah shows us who we really are. Anger is one of the hardest emotions to master because it disguises itself as a strength. But in truth, it is weakness dressed in noise. And yet, Islam gives us a map, a way back from the fire. When Aliya studied the hadith again, she realized something deeper. The Prophet didn't just tell us what to do when angry, he modeled it himself. He was insulted, betrayed, attacked, yet his anger was always for the sake of Allah, never for himself. He never cursed, never shouted in rage, never humiliated anyone in return. He forgave even when he could have punished. That's not softness, that's a strength. Aliyah began sharing what she learned with others. In the women's halaqah at her masjid, she once spoke about her experience. She said, "Anger is like holding a burning coal, hoping it will hurt the other person first, but it burns you before anyone else." The women nodded, some with tears in their eyes. Then she continued, "The Prophet ﷺ gave us a dua to protect our hearts from this fire. Say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri sam'i, wa min sharri basari, wa min sharri lisani, wa min sharri qalbi, wa min sharri mani." O Allah, I seek refuge in you from the evil of my hearing, my sight, my heart, and my desires. This dua cools the heart before the flame grows. From that day, her words began to reach others, co-workers, friends, even strangers online who read her reflections. She didn't become famous, she became useful. Months later, life tested her again. Her mother fell ill, bills piled up, Hamza's university admission was delayed. And one afternoon, when everything seemed to go wrong at once, Aliyah felt that old heat rising again, anger, frustration, helplessness. But this time, she caught it. She stepped away, took a deep breath and whispered, "Ya Allah, help me respond, not react." She made wudu, sat down and opened the Quran. The verse she read felt like an answer. "And hasten to forgiveness from your Lord, and a garden as wide as the heavens and earth, prepared for the righteous, those who spend in ease and hardship, who restrain anger and pardon people. And Allah loves the doers of good." She smiled through her tears. The words felt like a balm to her heart. Allah loves those who restrain their anger. That night, as she sat by her mother's bedside holding her frail hand, she whispered, "Maybe that's what patience really is. Not silence, but choosing peace over reaction." Her mother, half asleep, smiled faintly. "You've grown, my daughter." Aliyah smiled too, only after breaking a few times. Every heart has its breaking point, but sometimes the breaking is not destruction, it is instruction. Wait for Allah to soften what pride had hardened. Anger will always come, but in every flash of rage there lies a doorway to sin or to growth. The believer chooses growth. So the next time you feel anger rising like a tide, remember, say, "A'udhu billah minash shaitanir rajim." Change your posture, sit or lie down, make wudu, pray 2 rak'ahs, and speak only when your heart has cooled. Because the Prophet ﷺ promised, whoever restrains his anger while being able to act upon it, Allah will fill his heart with contentment on the day of judgment. Aliyah's story is not just about anger, it's about learning that the strongest battles are fought not with fists or words, but within the soul, in that silent moment between reaction and restraint. And in that space, if you choose patience over pride, you will find peace that no argument can give, and a strength that no victory can equal. And Allah loves those who restrain their anger and those who pardon others. Let this be your strength, let this be your peace. And when anger comes again, as it always will, remember Aliyah and the fire she turned into light.